What was your first impression of each other when you first met?
Well,
I've always disliked him
yeah.
intensely, but he turned
Yeah,
out
I
to
was
be...
not a fan. No, I loved
You're not
Emma.
gonna
I
get-
loved her. I always had a huge crush on her, and I'm saying it. I'm saying it in front of cameras. It's true. I always had a big crush on her, and then we met. We met, I don't know, periodically over the years.
We have met,
Yeah.
and we've got lots of mutual friends.
Yes.
That's the odd thing.
Yes, that's the odd thing.
And now he lives in Blighty, you see.
Yeah.
And is married to a Blighty.
Yeah. Yes,
So-
right.
So we can get my hands
We
on
can
it.
hang out now.
Yeah. Well, I play Fiona May, who's a family court judge, and she is having a very difficult time at home with her husband, and goes in, and a new case is being put before her, which is about a Jehovah's Witness young man who is refusing a blood transfusion. He has leukemia and he needs the blood transfusion to live, but because of his religious beliefs, he's refusing, and he has support from his religious community and his parents in that decision. And so she has to make her own decision about whether this is the right or the wrong thing to do.
And another part of this story involves Stanley Tucci. You play Fiona's husband. Can you explain what's going on between the two of you as well?
Oh, would you?
Yes. There's tension in the marriage, which is unusual. And
It's never happened to me,
no,
ever.
No. And they've sort of grown apart for whatever reason. And this case sort of, I suppose, in some ways, blows things wide open. Certainly for her emotionally, and then ultimately for them as a couple.
So the boy in question here is played by Fionn Whitehead, who has made many waves after Dunkirk. Can you all talk about what it was like to work with him, especially because in this movie he has so many more lines than he did in Dunkirk?
Yeah.
Well, Finn, I first met him. He said, I'm in this movie called Dunkirk. And I said, well, who's the star? And he said, I think I am. And he's very, very touching, very vulnerable, but quite confident and quite tough. He had leukemia in the film. His character was suffering from leukemia. And I said, how much do you know about leukemia? He said, oh, well, my mum just died of leukemia, so I know quite a lot. And it's a measure of how dignified and self-possessed he is that you never knew. He's entirely professional and very, very, very touching and skillful actor.
And he went off after doing this, having done Dunkirk, to do a little play called Natives in a small theatre, which I went to see. And he was absolutely fantastic on stage.
Really?
Yeah, actually Duncan came as well. It was just so great to see him doing something that's not film. You know, I think he's the real thing, is the point I think that we would wish to say about that, because our industry will tend to take particularly people who are beautiful and swallow them up, spit them out, you know, just get them into something, make them famous, make them money, you know, and then they're over. And I don't think that's going to happen to Finn, because he's just too original and strong, and he's good, and he can really develop into something great.
I think that's true.